Right now, a 600-kilogram mass of metal is tearing through the upper atmosphere at thousands of miles per hour on a crash course with Earth. That is over 1,300 pounds of solid engineering plummeting toward the surface. It leads to the immediate question dominating today's headlines: is anyone on the ground actually in danger? Before we calculate the risk, we have to look at whose hardware is currently falling out of the sky. This descent marks the final, planned return of a massive piece of our own scientific infrastructure. The object in question is NASA's Van Allen Probe A. This spacecraft left Earth back in August of 2012 alongside an identical twin, Van Allen Probe B. Their mission was to study the radiation belts, massive, donut-shaped bands of highly charged particles fluctuating around our planet. Flying in long, elliptical orbits, the twin probes operated in tandem, taking simultaneous measurements to map how these magnetic fields behave. Detailing that radiation was a necessary step for keeping astronauts safe and protecting the satellites that handle our global communications. The most surprising detail about this crash is that it took so long to happen. NASA engineers originally designed the probe to operate for 2, maybe 3 years. The working environment inside those radiation belts is brutal. The continuous bombardment of highly charged particles was expected to fry the probe's electronics by 2015. Instead, the probe survived those extreme conditions and continued gathering vital science for 14 years. This graph illustrates orbital decay, when microscopic drag from the thin upper atmosphere slowly bleeds a spacecraft's momentum. After 14 years of steady friction, Earth's gravity overpowered the probe's remaining momentum, pulling it into the uncontrolled descent we see today. Today's crash is the inevitable, physics-driven end of a machine that far outlasted its original mission. Which brings us back to the immediate threat. What actually happens when a 600-kilogram satellite hits the dense lower atmosphere at thousands of miles per hour? Despite the terrifying headlines, the mathematical risk to human populations is effectively zero. The mechanics of atmospheric re-entry, the process of pushing through the thick air of Earth's atmosphere, generate intense friction. That heat vaporizes the vast majority of that 1,323 pounds of metal long before it gets anywhere near the ground. Any small, dense fragments tough enough to survive that inferno are statistically guaranteed to splash into the ocean, which covers over 70% of the planet. The probe leaves behind a massive archive of scientific data, transmitted over 14 years of operation. Falling satellites represent the necessary, highly calculated final chapters of human space exploration. If you want to look past the panic of the daily news and understand the real science driving the headlines, subscribe to The Explainer and drop a comment below letting us know what mysterious space object or cosmic phenomenon we should investigate next.